Welcome into Outkick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Thursdays, wherever you may be across this great country or this great land. Some people are insane. Your boy is not one of them. I want to start off today's show by thanking all of you who've been giving us a 5-star rating. My boy Danny G on the Outkick radio show is reviewing them all. Any review that we read, any 5-star review that we read that receives on-air mention, you get an autographed copy of my book. All right? So, everybody out there, I appreciate the 5-star reviews. If you are watching this or listening to it on a podcast, it can be the Outkick the Show podcast, or it can be the Outkick the Coverage podcast. Give us a 5-star review, and we will read some of those. I'm not making the determinations. Danny G is. If your review is read, you will get an autographed copy of the book. All right? So, that is a bit of positivity for all of you out there who are cheap and want to spend 5 minutes on a smart or funny review, and you might get rewarded with something free. All right? A bunch of different things that are going on crazily, but I want to begin, as I've begun for months, coronavirus update. We had the fewest deaths on a Wednesday since March. Some people out there, again, fewest deaths on a Wednesday since March, yesterday. Some of you out there, you say, well, why do you look at it by day of the week? It's because if you look at the data over months, it's very reflective of the day of the week. That is, the numbers go down on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They tick back up. Usually Tuesday is the biggest day in terms of reports because everybody catches back up from the weekend. Then Wednesday, then Thursday, the numbers typically go down and cycle back down the whole way. All right? And so the only time that trend has changed was on Memorial Day weekend when we had a Monday holiday, and then we had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all cycling down until we came back up on Wednesday. But that's why. So lowest number of deaths on a Wednesday since March. All right? Several things I got to get off my chest. I'm going to start with this. The University of Florida has banned the Gator bait chant. I have grown over the years to despise the Gator bait chant because by and large, my team that I've been a fan of since I was a kid is the University of Tennessee. And no one in the SEC has been more frequently Gator bait in a game that you hoped you were going to win than the University of Tennessee. I myself have frequently been Gator bait because I'll come in all excited, all thrilled every year for Tennessee to maybe be able to beat Florida. And then what happens every September? Most of the years, Tennessee loses to Florida, and I am Gator bait. But let me tell you this. I absolutely love the Gator bait cheer. I think it is cool. I think it is part of what makes the pomp, the circumstance, the majesty, the pageantry of college football what it is. And so the idea that Gator bait would be banned, not because it is racist now, as the University of President of Florida said, and not because there has ever been any allegation of racism. For better or worse, the University of Florida students want everybody to be Gator bait if they are on the opposing sideline. White, black, Hispanic, Asian, they want all of you to be eaten by alligators, metaphorically of sort. And there's no evidence of this chant ever being racist in the life of anyone that is alive today. There is an allegation of racism from hundreds of years ago when nobody who's alive today was alive. So let me ask you this question. And you guys know that I abhor cancel culture with every fiber of my being. But I want to ask you this. Is it the purpose of society to evolve where things that once might have been racist are now no longer racist? And if that is the case, why would we judge that by which exists today and not by which it existed 100 years ago when nobody was alive today. In other words, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. The Constitution, as it was written, was racist. Okay? 100% racist. As part of a compromise between the southern states and the northern states, black people were counted as 3/5 of human beings for purposes of representation. It is hard to be more racist than that. But the Constitution still exists and has been amended, and we have moved through our Constitution towards equality. That is a positive. Our institutions bend towards righteousness and equality. Why would we judge something that we use today, which is not racist, based on the fact that 100 years ago, or 200 years, or 300 years ago, something was racist? Shouldn't we judge based on the evolution of something as opposed to the institution of something? And I don't think anybody can make a strong argument in the cancel culture against that. So if Gator bait, as is acknowledged by the University of Florida president, is not racist today, why should we ban it when it is being applied in an equal fashion? That's like banning the United States Constitution today because when it was initially written, it was racist. We take advantage of the evolution of society such that things that work now and are not racist should be permissible. This is really to the essence of what the cancel culture is. They are not defining even now things that are racist as being racist. They're defining things that were racist hundreds of years ago and now saying they have to be removed from modern society. That doesn't make any sense. That is a failure of intellectual thought. Gator bait is a great chant. If you are not happy with gator bait as a chant, then you would theoretically also not be happy with alligators as a mascot because occasionally an alligator kills someone. So how insensitive would it be, using this analogy, to do the gator chomp, since sometimes the gator chomp actually comes down on a human being? How insensitive is it to allow the Miami Hurricanes to be named after a hurricane, since hurricanes sometimes kill people? How insensitive is any name if you spend long enough to actually be offended? Okay? Props to Florida State because somehow they still haven't even stopped a Seminole chant and they got gator bait ran out of Florida. This is insane. And I don't know very many people, white, black, Asian, or Hispanic, who are going to agree with that. Judge things that exist in our society by how they are used today, not by hundreds of years ago when none of us were alive. This is not complicated, okay? This is not complicated at all. We got to stop allowing these buffoons who are endorsing cancel culture to win. A university president needs to step up and say exactly what I just said. Do you know why they don't? Because they're cowards. Cancel culture thrives based on the cowardice of leadership. Everybody is so afraid of being canceled themselves that they decide to cancel things that should never be canceled in the first place. That university president is terrified that if he stands up to these loser students or whoever they were, activists, and says, "No, what, we're going to keep this chant," he's afraid that he's going to be canceled. Let me tell you this right now. I don't know how many Florida Gator students will watch this. I don't know how many Florida Gator fans will watch this. But keep your chant going. Refuse to allow the school to ban the chant. Keep it going until sanity returns and you can bring back the Gator bait chant when your leaders are not all tremendous losers. Okay? Period. Dr. Fauci. Look, I got to tell you this. I respect Dr. Fauci for all of the good work he has done fighting HIV and AIDS. I appreciate everything that he has done to try to help against the coronavirus. But the man cancels out, we're talking about cancel. The guy gives opinions on every angle of every subject. And it's like he suddenly realizes, oh, nobody is talking about me. And so he decides that he needs to throw himself back out into the media and say whatever he needs to get attention. Before, the last time I remember Dr. Fauci getting all this attention, it was like when he said, oh, we could never go to schools in the fall. Let me tell you something. We better be at school in the fall. As someone with 3 young kids, ages 12, 9, and 5, my kids need to be back in school this fall. And if you have young kids, I bet almost 100% of you listening to me right now agree with me. The threat to kids is almost zero. Can't eliminate threat completely, but kids have almost no danger from the coronavirus, okay? So they need to be back in school. And now Dr. Fauci has come out and he said, oh, I don't think we can play football this fall. Guess what? We're playing football, all right? And Dr. Fauci, I bet, will walk back his football comments at some point in the near future. The only positive I can say about this is that every time Fauci speaks now, less people listen. This dude in March, every single word that he said, people ate up like it was the gospel. Now, he has contradicted himself. He said the opposite of what he said before so many times that his opinion is almost valueless. Because whatever he says today, he's going to cancel out tomorrow. Somebody said in the comments, Dr. Fauci is the only doctor I know who gives his own second opinion to cancel out his first opinion. If you wanted to get a medical opinion from Dr. Fauci and you didn't like the first one that you got, if you wait around long enough, he'll give you a second one and maybe a third one that you will like more. Fauci is supposed to be a doctor, the opposite of a politician, yet he has managed to take every position on every issue about which he has been asked since he became a public figure. It is flat out ridiculous. We're going to play college football. We're going to play NFL football. We got to power through and continue. Some people are going to get sick. This is where the Corona Bros are coming back for you. I told you the Corona Bros would argue there was a second wave. I told you the Corona Bros would, as soon as some people started testing positive at schools, they're going to be like, oh my God, we can't play football now. Testing positive is not a bad thing. If you catch somebody testing positive, it's actually a positive because if they hadn't come back on campus, they would have never known they had the disease. They would have been asymptomatic and walking around potentially infecting more people. Catching a positive case because somebody is back on campus is actually great because they're going to get great health care. If they get it before the season starts, it means they can't get it again, which means spread within a team will become more difficult the more players who actually have it. This is ridiculous. Dr. Fauci, I'm sorry, I'm over you. I just can't trust your opinion anymore. Bama versus Ohio State. Good news. You want some good news? We got a lot of big-time college football out-of-conference games being scheduled. It's a long time away, granted, but in 2027, Alabama will play at Ohio State. At 2028, we will have Alabama hosting Ohio State. Big-time home-and-home series. Props to Gene Smith. Props to Greg Byrne. Props to Ohio State. Props to Alabama for scheduling this. It should be outstanding. Owners in Major League Baseball. Hopefully we're getting close to a solution. Major League Baseball owners have requested 60 games. The players have shot back requesting 70 games. Can we just go ahead and agree at 65 games and get the spring training part 2 re-going? This process has gone on for far too long. I am ready for it to be over. I am ready for Major League Baseball to be back. They're willing to pay for 60 games at a pro rata full salary. The players push back and ask for 70. Can we please just get to 65, call it even, and roll out and make it happen. That is my hope before all is said and done. Again, 65 games. Let's get started. Let's make it happen. Finally, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida came on the show this morning. I appreciate all of you who are listening to the Outkick morning radio show or who are downloading the podcast. Right now, we have the number 4 podcast in sports in America. And we also have the number 27 podcast in America, which is this show. This live Periscope show and this live Facebook show also is an audio feed. And right now we have the number 4 and the number 27 podcasts in America because there's so much demand for reasonableness that people are out there. I appreciate you guys. You're sharing the show with your friends, and we are adding a ton of listeners every single day, a ton of viewers every single day. And by the way, go check out Outkick.com. We're going to have millions of readers there this month, including a good column by Bobby Barack and Ryan Glasspiegel, 2 of my most recent hires, the top 50 most valuable talents in sports media. Go check it out, okay? So we've got 2 top 27 podcasts, both starring yours truly. We have got a website doing millions of readers a month that we're on pace to continue to dominate with. And I appreciate all of you because the growth means that people are asking to come on the show. And so Marco Rubio's office, senator from Florida, reached out. We had a great conversation. He's a huge Miami Dolphin fan and a huge Florida Gator fan. It was a good conversation. I encourage you. He's an hour 3. Go listen on the podcast. But he introduced a bill today that I think is an important bill, and I think it's the right bill. State of California and the state of Florida have both passed bills allowing people to be paid, players, primarily college football and college basketball. Well, you can't have a hodgepodge of different laws around the entire country about paying players. You can't allow that to take place. And so it actually makes the most sense for there to be a national law that governs exactly how players can make money off their name, image, and likeness, because otherwise it's a total mess to try to figure out how kids are going to be allowed to play in different states, depending on the rules that apply there. So what Rubio's bill does, as he walked us through it, is it says we have to have a uniform national rule, or else we're going to allow the Federal Trade Commission to make a rule that will apply and preempt all the state laws in this space. So, Marco Rubio on the show. I appreciate all of you. The rapid growth of the show means that a lot of people with big audiences who could go anywhere are requesting an opportunity to come on our show, and they are doing a fantastic job of being able to speak to you in the audience. I appreciate all of you. My name is Clay Travis. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. Don't be Gator bait. Fight for Gator bait. Some people say, why do you care? When you allow a precedent of cancellation to be set, you allow it to be followed. People are never happy. The people who want to cancel society are never actually satisfied. They want things to get worse. They want more to be canceled. You cannot negotiate with them. They continue to demand the cancellation of more and more, which is why you need to stand up to them. It's why I stand up to them. I hope the Florida Gators lose every big football game they play for the rest of my life against the University of Tennessee. But I'll be damned if I can't stand with every Florida Gator fan and chant Gator bait. You guys need to keep it going and not allow your idiot school president or the idiot activists who have allowed this to occur to be canceled. I love all of you. My name is Clay Travis. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. Kisses. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See y'all. Appreciate all the audience. Huge audience today on Facebook. I hope you guys are enjoying. Everybody has lost their mind in this country, except for your boy, who somehow has become the sane one. You know the country has gone wild when I'm the sane one and everybody else has gone loony bin. Love you guys. See ya.